Hey, what's up, guys? Over here. So just yesterday, we talked about the vibe shift that's been going on over the past couple of months, where it's become increasingly clear that people are rejecting DEI across the board, and people are speaking in the only language these big corporations and platforms understand, and that is by speaking with your wallet. It's becoming very clear that people will not support various companies if they have DEI related programs affecting the products and services they make. And you have these massive corporations and platforms that are now doing a 180 on their DEI related programs, completely abandoning them just in the past couple of weeks. And do I believe this is a sincere effort? Of course not. They're just doing whatever will make them the most money. They're going with the direction the wind is blowing, and they're seeing a big vibe shift that is rejecting DEI, and now they are following suit. However, now we're seeing more people in the gaming industry starting to get into this. We've seen multiple statements rejecting DEI from members of the industry, and here's the latest one reported by Eurogamer, and probably their least biased article in quite some time, saying, Lords of the Fallen publisher CI Games publicly shuns DEI, says it won't embed social or political agendas. Now let's see what's actually going on here. So in a recent statement to investors, the global marketing director Ryan Hill told investors the studio would focus on excellent user experience with compelling thematics and characters created specifically for core and adjacent audiences. Following perceptions, a high number of high-profile releases underperformed commercially during the last year due to what he believed to be social or political agendas. And he goes on further to say, we remain committed to producing player-first video games that prioritize an excellent user experience with compelling themes and characters created specifically for core and adjacent audiences. Hill said when asked for the studio's position on DEI, and he would say, this right here, while some video games have recently taken the opportunity to embed social or political agendas within their experiences, it is clear that many players do not appreciate this, and as a result, we have seen a number of high-profile releases underperforming commercially during the last year alone. Our games will always be developed to maximize player enjoyment and commercial success, and as such, we will not be integrating any social, political agencies into these experiences going forward, having observed the high risk this can present. Now, this last part is very interesting. I saw a lot of people see these statements from CI and they go, wow, oh my God, totally based. They're so based for this. They really believe that DEI is terrible. Well, we don't really know that. Just like with the companies we just mentioned earlier, we don't really know if deep down they actually believe that DEI is bad. However, they are making it very clear that from a commercial standpoint, they cannot support DEI because it will backfire just like it has with other examples of DEI proponents in the industry over the past year or so. You know what that tells me? It tells me again, they're listening when people speak with their wallets. And I think that is very, very important and tells you that you need to, stay the course here. If you see something that is working with Sweet Baby or it has DEI related programs or it's an incredibly woke company, don't support what they do. And eventually they'll have to do a course correction and get rid of this stuff. And here's an example of that happening in real time. They would not be making these statements if these games didn't flop that supported DEI over the last year or so. Now, going forward, let's talk here with the CEO of CI Games, Marek Tyminski, who would confirm this stance by quoting the previous statements we just saw, saying exactly, no, we will not. Now, of course, the reaction to this is very, very polarized, where you have reactions like this saying, LOL, you are so edgy and cool. Congrats on being the new favorite dev of the worst people on the internet. It's amazing how woke people aren't able to convert anyone who's anti-woke, especially when they call them the worst people on the internet for simply saying DEI is a cancer in the industry, which it clearly is based on results. The next one says, this is so based. LMAO, game hasn't done well anyways. Don't think this tweet is going to help it either. Impressive, very based. Cool, I'll pirate your future games then. This is some embarrassing pandering. Good to see. Based, what gamers want and will win. And then it says, okay then, that was always allowed. But yeah, like I said, the reaction to this has been very, very polarized. And also I want to point out here, PC Gamer, they were mentioned in the Eurogamer article here. They covered this a little bit differently, the same statements, but covered very much biasly here. So a headline says, Lords of the Fallen Studio embraces the DEI bugbear, says it will not include any social or political agendas in its games. Now, looking at the article itself, it's quite unhinged. So they cite some of the statements here from their marketing director, and then they say, and then he rolled into what I would call a pretty ill-informed take on the current state of the gaming industry. And then here's the next line of quotes we had just seen. And then he says, Hill didn't explain how exactly he or CI Games defines DEI, which has become shorthand slang for things I don't like among some parts of video game fandom, nor did he offer any examples of games that failed due to their social or political agendas. And then they go off on a tangent about Concord and Dustborn, which there's plenty others, Veilguard, Forspoken. You can go on and on and on. Everyone knows there's countless examples, but I love how they say we don't know what they define as DEI, but we're going to fill in the blanks for them by saying things I don't like, which is just immense copium. And then down here, they also say he did unfortunately lend credence to the ugly and patently false assertion that DEI is ruining gaming by, well, that's not really clear either. But that almost doesn't matter. As a hot button buzzword among angry reactionary gamers, the DEI boogeyman doesn't need a definition. It just needs to stir up lizard brain emotions on the way to generating views. I can't believe nobody's clicking on PC Gamer articles. Why would that happen? I can't believe it. But anyways, they go on to say this massive copium, saying Hill's comments stand in sharp contrast to those expressed by another Polish games company, Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077 developer CD Projekt Red. Now that's very interesting. They're saying that like it's a W. CD Projekt Red has had their reputation dragged through the mud because of their obsession with DEI. We all know they are the kings of, or I should say the they-thems of diversity and inclusion. Okay, they have more stuff about DEI on their website than they do about their games. That's how bad things are. But I want to go on a little tangent because it's funny they mention CD Projekt Red because their CEO has made a very interesting statement just a few days ago, where he was talking about how Witcher 3 turns 10 this May, and around 100 of the developers are still working with them to this day. So they went from 200 to 100 currently in that 10-year span. And some people basically said, well, that's a complicated way of saying half of your development team has left, where Michael Nowakowski, the CEO of CD Projekt Red, would reply saying, we're not working and never worked with Sweet Baby. Never even heard of them till recently, to be honest. Also, we have not lost prime meat, as you put it. So this person brought up Sweet Baby, and the CEO comes out to reject them and basically be like, I don't even know who that Sweet Baby guy is. Only found out recently. Which is interesting because a lot of people have reaction to that. Some people are saying, well, maybe they're kind of telling the truth because CD Projekt Red is so woke, maybe they don't even need consultation from Sweet Baby. But the other reaction is, well, they're trying too hard, basically. They're trying to say that, oh, we have no connection to Sweet Baby. It almost makes them look guilty because if you haven't heard of Sweet Baby at this point, you're either lying or you have no pulse on the community. If you've been paying attention to anything going on with gamers over the last year, you would know Sweet Baby was a big topic. Whether you support them, hate them, or indifferent to them, it's still a very relevant topic. And if you are a CEO of a gaming company, how could you have not heard of Sweet Baby until very recently? That's a very strange thing to say. But let's return to PC Gamer, okay? As pointed out by many different people, PC Gamer has been having a very rough go of things, especially given some recent political and social events that didn't go in the favor of the activists working at this publication. So you can see Hypnotic here putting out a very hilarious and hypocritical article made recently by PC Gamer, where they call people supporting Twitter by buying Twitter Blue, supporting and giving revenue to dullwits. That basically these people who are buying Twitter Premium are dullwits, forking over $8 to Elon Musk. So they're mocking people for paying $8 a month to Elon Musk. But as pointed out by Hypnotic, they have a golden check mark, which is $1,000 a month. They're mocking you and calling you a dimwit for paying $8 for Twitter Premium, but they're paying $1,000. And not only are they paying $1,000 to the guy they hate so much, they're also desperately promoting their articles. That's all they do all day. They post article after article after article. They hate this place so much. They hate Elon Musk so much, but they pay him $1,000 a month and they can't leave because it's the only place they can get traction. And it's not even good traction. They have 3.3 million followers. And look at some of their recent tweets. 29 likes in 2 hours. 35 likes in 3 hours. 30 likes in 4 hours. As you can see, no one cares about PC Gamer, but yet they're going to call you dimwits. They're going to mock you. They're going to feed you false information about gaming news, and they expect you to somehow still support them. It's ridiculous. But they also have a major case of Trump derangement syndrome. That's very clear at this point, where they say NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang joins the rush to kiss Trump's ring with the quote, "I'd be delighted to go see him and congratulate him." Wow, kissing the ring. They hate to see someone that they expect to agree with them have a different political opinion. All of a sudden now it's kissing the ring and something that is apparently newsworthy to PC Gamer. But you can see that 800 likes and almost 600 comments. People are absolutely roasting them. But let's go back to Lords of the Fallen and CI Games here, because people, in their response to the rejection of DEI, made some very valid concerns, where they pointed out that one element of Lords of the Fallen 2023 that they should take another look at is the use of body type A and body type B in character creation, because that is something that is heavily tied to DEI. I don't think that's much of a mystery, where Mark would say, good point, let us look deeper into that. And that was posted yesterday, but only a few hours before recording this video, he released this poll right here, saying, in a medieval fantasy action RPG experience, what do you prefer to choose between? We will follow the final result. And this poll is up for 2 more days. And after 7,000 votes, 86% of people say male or female, and they reject body type A and body type B nonsense. Yes, this is quite telling, and I think this should serve as a eye-opening experience for a lot of people in the industry, that these screechers on Twitter are the loud minority. They do not represent actual gamers. And again, this is going to get a lot more attention. It's only posted 2 hours ago, and I imagine the votes are going to get even more skewed. And if you're watching this video, you should go vote, speak with your opinion here, make it known what you want to support, what you want to support in the industry, and make it clear what you don't want to support. And as you can see, comments here, who cares? Well, a lot of people care. In fact, the overwhelming vast majority of people do care about this subject, and no amount of copium will make up for that. But let's continue on, because this whole type A, type B, or whatever way they want to phrase it, is still being embraced by many different companies like Bandai Namco. So they come out with this remaster here, and everyone's watching this several minute long preview, but there were some quick notes to be made about this remake. Well, they've gone from female and male choices in character creation to type A and type B, and a lot of people are not happy about this comment right here, ratioing Bandai Namco's official account, getting 3 times as many likes without even saying anything, just posting this image and showing the changes in the remake. Very embarrassing stuff. But overall, the industry is just looking silly, and the vibe shift is starting to really reach the gaming industry. It's reached other industries, but the gaming industry is notoriously woke, so it might take a little bit more effort. But on social media even, we're seeing so much more anti-woke posts calling out the craziness going on in the industry. I covered this in my alt channel very briefly yesterday, but I'll point it out again here. This is a real post, the absolute state of Xbox, and this was a Xbox stream titled Microsoft Pride, Together We Can. And yeah, how's it looking? How do you do, fellow gamers? Is this what you look like? Well, I would probably guess not. You don't look like the Blue Sky meetup. This is not going to bring in gamers. This looks divisive, it looks political, it looks woke, and people just don't like it. And this tweet has 68,000 likes mocking it. You didn't really see a lot of these anti-woke posts getting this much attention and support on Twitter, but I guess people feel more comfortable to support these things given the recent vibe shift. But on top of that, we also saw an update with Splash Damage. So Splash Damage back in 2020 made it very clear they support DEI, and they made it very clear publicly on their social media. They proudly exclaimed this. Well, the most recent update Oh boy. Well, they've made the decision to end the development of Transformers Reactivate, which was a big project, and a lot of people were wondering what was going to happen with it. I'm pretty sure some of the game got leaked recently, but yeah, they have ended development. Once again, DEI being a cancer on the industry, killing anything it touches. But we'll also see some more damage happening here. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League developer Rocksteady, hit by an end-of-the-year round of layoffs. They have had another recent round of layoffs, and it's really just insane because also, not only was the game a pile of garbage, it was also connected to Sweet Baby, which further hurt the reputation of this game. And unlike the people who try to overgeneralize the complaints of anti-woke people, Sweet Baby being connected to this game did not single-handedly kill it, right? But it was definitely a factor, right? Getting a connection to Sweet Baby is a kiss of death, and it does not help in any sort of a way, especially when you're already a lackluster product. You're pretty much getting bogged down by any small negative sort of thing that can be connected to you, and this is just another example of that. But again, all these games connected to Sweet Baby failing mightily. Well, what's going on? Well, according to rumors, they have about 30 games they're working on, and they've lost no contacts as a result of everything that's happened the last year. The probably, we could say, hundreds of millions, if not over $1 billion on the games they've worked on that have lost out on that revenue. They've lost nothing, no contacts. It just goes to show DEI is not just dead, right? The vibe shift is happening, but a lot of companies like Sweet Baby, they're just going underground. They're retooling, they're rebranding, and they're just doing things more quietly. And they're trying to be sneaky about it. That's why it's so important to keep an eye on Sweet Baby. Despite some claims, you can see the Epic CEO Tim Sweeney saying tech leaders are pretending to be Republicans to gain favor with Trump and skirt antitrust laws and ultimately rip off customers and crush competitors. And yes, this is definitely what's happening. And again, to reiterate, you shouldn't trust these companies who are saying these things now and rejecting DEI because they're likely doing it for their own financial gain. But still, that doesn't mean you should spike the football and be like, well, wokeness is dead. No, that article right there with the rumor about Sweet Baby, it shows they're still going on. They're just rebranding, and you definitely got to keep an eye on them and whatever they're working on. It's going to be a little more difficult now, but it's still very important to do. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. A big talk about DEI across multiple industries, but in particular the gaming industry, and the reaction to it is quite interesting. So, as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.